Hi all, good morning, good evening. Welcome to the day one of our exclusive training, Generative AI in Software Testing, where we are going to learn how to leverage Gen AI in the field of functional testing and automation testing. So yesterday, we had the demo session, right, in which we went through the different topics which we are going to cover as part of this course. And then we started, with some questionnaires about Gen AI, and I gave you some insights like how Gen AI can help us, in generating different content. So, like we took the example of generating a story with, two characters in the story, whale and camel. So it's very difficult, right, to imagine a story about a whale and a camel, but we could see that Gen AI could generate a story within few minutes, not even minutes, right? So within few seconds, it could generate a story. Similarly, we saw how to write emails, right? So those are some of the common usage which I showed you, like generating the text, right? But the question actually, I mean, the point to think is that anyone can do that, right? But when it comes to technical skills, when it comes to the testing phase, it's not everyone's cup of tea, guys. Okay, that is why I told you yesterday that prompt engineering is very, very important. And as part of this training, we are going to learn about prompt engineering as well. So before I start for the day, anyone has any queries from the previous session? Anyone has any queries from the previous session? No? Okay. So I'll start sharing my screen, everyone. I hope my screen should be visible to all of you. Can anyone confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Thank you. So we had gone through some of the questions, right? Like when you hear about Gen AI, what comes to your mind, right? Then have you encountered any AI generated content? Then what are the applications of Gen AI which excites you, or concerns you the most? Then how do you think Gen AI would be able to impact your life or your industry in the next 5 years, right? So we'll next see, guys, the key terminologies. Okay, key terminologies. AI. AI is artificial intelligence, right, everyone? AI is artificial intelligence. Now, AI is again of three types, everyone. Okay, so AI is really vast, and there are so many possibilities which can be thought of with AI. So there are so many areas where AI is having the applications today. AI is being used in so many areas today. Okay, so we have to understand, okay, that AI is of three types. Now, what are they? Artificial narrow intelligence. The first type is the artificial narrow intelligence. Then artificial general intelligence, and then artificial super intelligence. Okay, so what are they basically? Okay, artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI, is known as weak AI. Okay, it is also known as weak AI. It basically can be used, or to do specific tasks by leveraging the capability of AI to process and analyze vast amount of data, but it cannot decide on its own, guys. It cannot take independent decisions. Okay, it cannot learn new skills on its own. It cannot have a clear understanding, a deep understanding of the world. So it relies on, or it depends on some data. Sorry, is there a query? I'll request everyone to be on mute, please.
I did. I did.
Since I request everyone, please be on mute. Let's not, disturb the decorum of the session. Okay, so what I was telling is, ANI, or the artificial narrow intelligence, can analyze vast amount of data and can generate the output, but it cannot take independent decisions on its own. It cannot learn new things on its own. It cannot develop a deep understanding about the world, what is happening and all. So it depends on algorithms which have been pre-programmed, guys. Okay, it will depend on those algorithms which have been pre-programmed, and it requires human intervention to operate. Understood, everyone? It requires human intervention to operate. Now, when it comes to the next type of AI, that is the artificial general intelligence, AGI. It is known as strong. Okay, it is known as strong AI. Here, everyone, it is known as strong AI. It can understand, it can learn, it can apply, its knowledge on a broad range of problems, or on a broad range of tasks which is given to it. Okay, like a human being, right, has intelligence. The human being can think, can analyze. Same way, the artificial general intelligence can do the tasks independently like a human being, guys. Okay, but this category of AI, artificial general intelligence, which can match the capability of human intelligence, is yet to be developed. Understood, everyone? This category of AI, which can match the intelligence of the human beings, is yet to be developed. And then we have super intelligence, artificial super intelligence. It means it can surpass human knowledge, guys. It can surpass human knowledge. Okay, across all the tasks, whatever is given to it. Now, this is also yet to be developed, guys, because AGI is yet to be developed, so ASI is yet to be developed. But it, it is being discussed in different literatures, and in a fictitious world, it is being discussed. So now, guys, who can tell me? So the introduction which I gave about AI, that it is of 3 types. Who can tell me, like, based on your understanding of the developments, whatever has happened in the world of AI, which AI are we using now?
Narrow intelligence.
Narrow intelligence, very good. We are currently using artificial narrow intelligence. We are living in the age of artificial narrow intelligence currently. Okay. Now, it's not that AI will be used in a particular area only. It has applications, or it has its usage in different domains, guys. Nowadays, healthcare, education, marketing. Now, for example, in healthcare, you provide the reports, the medical reports of a patient, and then you upload to a particular AI model, It can analyze the reports and tell you whether the reports are normal or if there is any abnormality in the reports. So how is it able to do that? Right? We'll see that in the future classes. How is it able to do that? Now, remember guys, there is always a question in mind. Okay. Yesterday I had asked a question like, are there any concerns? Like, do you think AI will be a concern for anyone? What do you think, guys? Tell me, with this AI coming into picture, what is the biggest fear in the mind of people?
No privacy and replacing all industries except maybe logistics.
Very good. So that is the biggest fear, guys. Can AI replace human beings? Right or not?
Yes.
So in the current era, whatever development has been made in the field of AI, we can say that it cannot replace human beings as of now. Okay, but it can be used to make the human beings more efficient, right? We can be more efficient by using AI. We can enhance our skills using AI. Whatever monotonous tasks we do every day, we can use AI to automate those tasks. So AI can help us save time, and we can focus on those areas, which will bring in more innovation or more thought processes required over there. So instead of doing the monotonous tasks every day, you can leverage AI to get those monotonous tasks done, and you can rather invest your time on something more creative, more innovative, right? Here, everyone. So these are the different types of AI. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Okay, so I'll take it as no. So this is the question which I asked, guys. Which type of AI are we mostly using now? What was the answer, everyone? We have already discussed this. Whoever answered, please do not answer. Which type of AI are we mostly using now? Sorry. It's artificial narrow intelligence, right? We discussed, guys. Here. Okay. So the scope of AI, as I told you, AI can be used in different domains, and nowadays AI is being used in majority of domains like healthcare, education, entertainment, transportation. Okay, it is being used. Okay, so next we will go to the key concepts and terms, guys. Okay, key concepts and terms. So AI is very popular today, right? Everyone is speaking about AI. Recently, there was an AI summit in France. I hope you all would have, read that in the news. Our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, was also part of it, right? So everyone is focusing on AI nowadays. Now, this field is very complex, guys. Okay, this field is very complex. It involves various concepts. Okay, so that is what we are going to see now. Artificial intelligence. We can say that it is basically, a superset. Okay, artificial intelligence can be called as a superset, guys. What is this artificial intelligence? So this is basically a field of computer science, right? This is basically a field of computer science which can mimic, right? Which can mimic the human intelligence, which can simulate human intelligence. So AI focuses on creating different systems which can, perform the tasks, right? Like, content generation, okay, speech recognition, okay. Content generation can be text generation, image generation, video generation, right? And then some decision making, guys. Now, I told you previously, it cannot make its own decision, right? So whatever it has learned, whatever it has learned, based on that, it will be able to make the decisions. So artificial intelligence is the entire superset, guys. Okay, artificial intelligence is the entire superset, and then what will happen is it has other, technicalities, other concepts. So the next one is machine learning. Okay, the next one is machine learning. Now, anyone aware of machine learning? Anyone? Have you heard this term previously? Anyone, have you heard this term previously? At least you must have heard this term, right? Machine learning.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you understand, or any idea?
It's quite a buzzword, I would say, but getting into depth of it, um, it's more like maybe robotic kind of thing. I mean, it's more like whatever humans can do, let's make a machine do.
So if you see here, guys, learning, right? Learning is the key word here, and machine. So machines will learn and do the task like human beings, right? So basically, what happens in machine learning is here the focus is to develop different algorithms, okay, and statistical models which will allow the computer systems to learn from the experience, or whatever instructions we provide or data we provide. The learning can happen from there, so that next time onwards, as a user, I'm not going to provide the explicit instructions. Okay, I'm not going to provide any instructions explicitly. Rather, because from that experience it has learned, it will be able to do that task based on that learning. I do not have to explicitly provide the instructions. So they can, using machine learning, the data can be analyzed, the patterns in a data can be detected, okay, the trends can be analyzed, the trends can be studied, and then based on that analysis, okay, based on that analysis, the decisions can be made, guys, or predictions can be made. So machine learning is a field of AI, I would say. Okay, ML is a field of, or a branch of AI. Now, inside machine learning, guys, okay, or apart from machine learning, we have another concept known as deep learning. Now, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. This artificial intelligence is the superset. Machine learning is a subset of, artificial intelligence. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So here again, artificial neural networks. We'll not go deep into this, guys. So I'll just tell you the concepts, because our objective of this training is different, but you need to have a background idea of all these terms. So the deep learning is basically, can you please go on mute because I can hear some echo. So deep learning is basically a subset of machine learning where artificial neural networks, okay, will be used to detect objects, to detect speech, to recognize speech, and to translate language. Okay. So using deep learning, you can analyze text, you can analyze data, you can analyze images, you can analyze sound, you can analyze, videos similar to the human brain. The way human brain will analyze the data and will come up with the results or will come up with the output, using deep learning, you can basically, process like a human brain. That is deep learning. And so deep learning is basically a subset of machine learning, guys. Okay, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. So this I'll write as here. Okay. And then another term is natural language processing. Natural language processing. So it basically focuses on, now it is, again, a subset of AI, guys. Okay, machine learning is a subset of AI. Natural language processing is a subset of AI. So using natural language processing, the objective is to have the interaction between computers and human beings through natural language. It means, the computer models, the models or the algorithms, they can understand, they can decode human language. So using NLP, the computer systems can interpret, can understand, can generate or manipulate the natural language texts as well as speech, guys. So what will happen is, in NLP, whenever a human being is interacting with the computer system, the input which will be provided by the human being, right? Whenever we are going to interact with the computer systems, we are going to provide the inputs. So whatever input we are going to provide, NLP will take that as an input, process that input and convert it into a form which the computers will understand. And then once computer understands that, computers will process that, they will generate some output, right? Now that output which is generated, that can be understood by the computers only. It will not be understood by the human beings. So again, there is a role of NLP there. NLP will again convert that output into a format which the human beings can understand. Okay. So in our, nowadays, whenever we are generating any content and all, majorly NLP is also used, everyone. Okay. So here we have the subset of, another subset of AI, that is the NLP, natural language processing. Next, we have
Venkata.
Okay, tell me. Yeah, tell me.
Sorry, Chandra. Sorry
Yeah.
for the wrong name.
No problem.
Is this, can I say it's something similar to IVR, this NLP?
So IVR is, you are saying that the interactive voice response, right?
Right.
So chatbots, IVRs, so these all are basically, examples of AI. Now in IVR, what happens whenever you are providing it cannot interpret what you are trying to say or something, right? It will ask for the inputs using the keypads, right? Using numbers.
So, sorry to interrupt. Sometimes it also gives us option that say that, my home
Yes
loan or
or no,
something.
right? Yes or no, or
Yes,
basically
those
the voice
binary.
speech recognition, right? The voice recognition. So if you say anything absurd, it will not understand, right?
Right.
When
It gives us options, not yeah.
yeah, it will give you those options and you have to tell out of those options. Why? Because it has been, you know, modeled in that way. It has been developed in
Right.
that
Got
way.
it. Got it. Got it.
Understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in NLP, what is happening? Yes, IVR or the chatbots or any generative AI model, we are doing the conversation with the computer system specifically. Whenever we are providing the input, that input will be processed and interpreted and then converted into a form which the computer systems will understand. Then the computer system will process that. Then it will generate the output. That output will again be basically processed by the NLP. Okay. So these are like we have neural networks inside our brain, right? Inside our nervous system. Similarly, artificial neural networks are being developed. They are too much technicalities, guys. So artificial neural networks are being developed as part of natural language processing. And then, you know, it is able to process the data, whatever is given by the user. Okay. Then, guys, is the generative AI. So generative AI is a branch of artificial intelligence which utilizes, okay, which utilizes machine learning. Okay. So inside machine learning, it is basically using deep learning techniques so that it can analyze huge data sets. So machine learning or deep learning will be basically used to analyze huge data sets. We call it as training, guys. Okay, we will train the models. We'll train the models, or basically we will give data, and then using those models we will be those models will basically will feed that data into those models, and then those models can be used to provide the output to us. They will be able to analyze the data, they will be able to analyze the patterns, they will be able to identify the patterns. And in generative AI, it is also using natural language processing. So this NLP will basically interpret human language, and machine learning, specifically deep learning, will analyze the data and will identify patterns from that data. Remember, by leveraging machine learning and natural language processing, generative AI is able to generate the content. Why it is known as generative AI? Because it generates. Okay, because it generates. And remember, Gen AI will always produce entirely new content and original content. Okay, it will generate new content and original content. So it can generate texts, it can generate images, it can generate music, it can generate videos. Okay, different things it can generate. So this is our generative AI. We are going to use generative AI, guys. So generative AI uses NLP, deep learning, and machine learning, guys. So this is Gen AI. Okay. Now inside Gen AI, okay, inside Gen AI, we have the language models. Clear, everyone? So these language models are a type of Gen AI. So again, we have different types of language models, which we will, see that. So these language models, they will process the inputs provided by the users using NLP, and then they will try to predict, guys, the next word. Okay, whatever input we will provide, based on the input, they will process that input, they will start generating, and then when in the process of generation, they are also going to predict what should be the next word. So based on that, they basically generate the output for us. So inside Gen AI, we will have the LMs. Okay, language. Okay, guys, LMs. So these are basically the key concepts which we are going to use in the means in the artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, Gen AI will be, the one which will focus on as part of this training. Now, whatever you see today, right? Whatever you see today, it has not been developed all of a sudden, right? There has been gradual improvements, guys. There has been gradual improvements. So before I go to the next slide, anyone has any queries? Any queries, anyone? Okay, I'll take it as a no. So I told you we have the language models, right? So we will see the different types of language models now. There are two types of language models. Okay, two types of language models. Now, what are these language models, guys? These language models are trained on extensive textual data sets. We train means, what does that mean? Now, guys, whenever we as human beings, right, we go to school, we learn things. How do we do that, guys? Everything we learn, right? By getting some input, by getting some data. Or like we learn to eat, we learn to work, we learn to play. So everything our brain is processing, right, as an input, then it is able to do that. Similarly, here also, we are feeding a lot of data, okay, to a language model. We are going to feed a lot of data. That is basically known as training. We are training the language model. We are training the language model with huge amount of data sets so that it can comprehend and produce human language. Okay, it can comprehend and produce human language. Very, very important is that it can predict the text sequences. Whenever the generation is happening, whenever the text is getting generated, what will be the next text, or what will be the next word, or what will be the next letter, it can basically predict. So it is able to generate the output sequentially, and hence it plays the crucial role in various applications, guys. Okay. Language models are of two types. Please remember, language models are of two types. One is large LLMs, means basically LLMs. LLMs is large language models. Okay. And the another one is SLM, small language models. Okay. The language models are of two types, LLM and SLM. Large language model, small language model. Clear, everyone? So now, what is a large language model? The large language model means it is basically trained on larger data sets. Okay, it is trained on larger data sets, and it is using the advanced techniques like deep learning and all. So whatever like we have seen the AI tools or models available nowadays, like ChatGPT, right, or Gemini, right? So those all are large language models. They have been trained on, huge data. However, SLM or small language models are basically, they are trained on less training data. Means they have been trained on less data. The architecture is very simple, guys. The architecture is very simple for SLM, and they can be quickly developed. They can be quickly developed. So here is the difference between the large language model and the small language model. So here you see the large language model is trained on large data sets, and they use deep learning and transformer architecture. So we will learn about this architecture, guys. The transformer architecture. It is very, very important. Okay. However, these small language models, they use less training data and they have simple architecture. The resource requirements. Resource means, the hardware configuration like CPU, memory, all those things, right? So these resources are required for processing, right? So the resource requirements for LLMs are high. Okay, the resource requirements are high for LLMs. But for SLM, the resources which are required are less, guys. Okay, they require less resources. LLMs need to be primarily hosted on the cloud. Okay, LLMs need to be primarily hosted on the cloud. However, SLMs or the small language models, they can be hosted on local devices. In fact, you can run them on your desktop, on your laptop, the SLMs, or low server infrastructure. Clear? But large language models, because they need high resource requirements, your desktop or laptop will not serve the purpose to run them. So ideally, it is basically for, it is basically hosted on the cloud, because cloud can auto scale, right? So intensive computation, right? It has high computational skills, guys. Complex computations can be done using the LLMs, but the computing complexity is less in case of the SLMs. Okay. The examples: GPT-4, Gemini by Google, GPT-4 by OpenAI. These all are examples of large language models. Gamma models by Google, Phi2 by Microsoft. These all are small language models. Clear, everyone? Now, what is GPT, right? We are using the term GPT. What is GPT, guys, or GPT models? Generative pre-trained transformer models. Okay, the full form of GPT is generative pre-trained transformer models. Now, what is this? Pre-trained means they have been previously trained. Okay, they have been previously trained on data. Yeah, tell me. Is there a query?
Yeah, yeah, Chandra. Just sorry, this may be a bit digressing, but is Zephyr a LLM or SLM?
Which one?
Zephyr. It's used with
Zephyr.
transformers, I believe. So
No,
Zephyr is a
transformer.
chat, like we can use it to create a chatbot.
Yeah. So uh, I I think Zephyr is a Jira plugin, right?
No, not that one. So Zephyr is like I have written a code in Python using
Yeah.
pipeline and transformers. I think it's LLM. Sorry, I might confuse others. So
Yeah. It should be LLM. Okay.
right. It has transformers. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So GPT means generative pre-trained transformer models. Now, why this pre-trained, guys? Because the data is means those models have been previously trained on the data sets, and transformer comes into picture here because of the transformer architecture. Okay, because of the transformer architecture, we will understand the transformer architecture also in details. Remember, I told you these GPT models, okay? These GPT models are trained on specific data sets, and the output which we get, right? When we are conversing with those tools, the output which we get, that basically comes because of the training which the models have undergone. Remember, during our interaction, okay? During our interaction, the GPT models do not learn. They do not evolve during our interaction. whatever response we are getting, it basically depends on the initial training data. So the data sets based on which they have been trained, the response basically depends on that. So here I'll introduce one term known as knowledge cutoff. Knowledge cutoff. Okay. Knowledge cutoff means the models would have been trained on a particular date. Okay. Means till a particular date they have been trained. So some GPT models, they might not be aware of the latest information. They might not be, aware of the latest information, because let's say there is a GPT model which has been trained till November 2024. Understood? Till November 2024, whatever data sets are there, the AI model has been trained on that till November 2024. So if you ask that AI model about an event which has happened in February 2025, it won't be able to tell you, it won't be able to answer you. Okay. And it will also tell that as on this particular date, or I have the information till this particular date, and as on this date, this is the information which I have. So the date till which, okay, the date till which the GPT models have been trained with required data is known as the knowledge cutoff. Did all of you understand what is knowledge cutoff? Anyone? What is knowledge cutoff? Can anyone tell me what is knowledge cutoff? Guys, are you understanding, everyone? Who wants to explain?
Yeah, hi Chandra, fresh here again. Yeah, it's just like it's limited to that particular. It got trained till that level. After that, whatever new events have happened post that particular date, it might not have any info. It will not have any information after that.
Yeah. So it might not give you the correct information, right? It might not give you the correct information. So guys, you need to remember these points. So you need to remember this, that whatever output is being generated by the AI models, that might not be 100% correct. That is another aspect why the AI models cannot replace human beings, because someone needs to verify the output from the AI models. Definitely, now there are very popular models, right? Like DeepSeek, then our Grok, Chat GPT. They are being trained on huge data sets. So it appears as if whatever output they are providing, that is, very much correct. But still, you need to understand that the output, all whatever is generated by the GPT models, they always have to be verified. Okay, because they work under some limitations, or basically there are certain things based on which they work. So one of them is knowledge cutoff. We will see some more details also going forward. Okay, all of you clear?
Chandra.
Remember, so OpenAI developed the first significant GPT model, that is known as ChatGPT, right? So when ChatGPT came to the market, so it brought in like a revolution. Okay, so OpenAI developed the first significant GPT model. So whenever next time anyone asks you what is GPT, you need to say generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, clear everyone, or any queries? Now that
Just Just one question, Chandra. So
Yeah.
does this mean that whenever the new information is fed, let it be like year-wise into the, for example, Chat GPT or GPT-4, it will come with a new version name, or will it be just upgraded, as in GPT-5, GPT-6 with latest
Yeah.
information?
So GPT-5, GPT-6 or whatever, they're models, means algorithms, and those all things are being improved, right? Along with
Right.
that, it is not only on the training data. The new models, whatever you are getting, it's not only the training data. Definitely, with the new models, they might be training them with new data, latest data. However, there is improvement on the model front also. Means the models will be able to, work faster. They will be able to analyze faster. There will be more improved versions from the previous version. Understood? It is all about analyzing the data, generating the output.
Got
Those
it.
all things also, right? It is
Got
not
it.
only about the training data.
Right, right. Maybe new
Okay.
features or, yep, got it.
Yeah. Okay. Next, guys. So we are conversing with AI, right? For example, let's say, and we are getting the output. Like yesterday, we saw. I asked the one of the AI model to generate a story, or I generated an email. It was able to generate it. So it understood my instruction, right? So how do the LLMs or the AI understand us, right? Very, very important. So what happens is whatever data you provide, or the instruction you provide, that data is broken into tiny building blocks, small blocks, guys, small blocks. What are those blocks known as? Those blocks are known as tokens. Very, very important, guys. This is another term. Remember, okay, when you are learning about generative AI, token is another important term. Okay, clear, everyone? So whenever we are providing any data, whenever we are providing any instruction, it is broken down into tiny building blocks known as tokens. I think is there a message in the chat? So what is token? Okay, what is token? Token is a single distinct unit. Now that token can be a whole word, or it can be part of a word, or it can even be a punctuation, guys. Okay, it can be the whole word. Sorry, it can be the whole word or part of a word or even punctuation also. So basically, it is the smallest segment of a text. It is the smallest block of a text which makes sense. Understood? So now, whenever you provide any text, that is broken down into blocks known as tokens. So this process, okay, so this process of breaking them is known as tokenization. So whenever we are providing an instruction that is broken down into tokens, so the AI models will basically interpret them, process them, and generate the output. Okay, the AI models will interpret, will process, and will generate. So as I told you, now this tokenization, this process of breaking down into, breaking down your text or instruction into tiny blocks, that is a background process, guys. You will not be able to see that. Okay, whenever you are interacting with any LLM or AI model, you will not be able to see that tokenization process. It is a background process. How that tokenization will be done, that depends on the algorithm which is being used in that model. The development team would be developing that algorithm, so it will more depend on the implementation whatever they are doing. Clear, everyone? So we cannot see that. So tokenization or breaking down your input into blocks or tokens is a background process. So all of you see, now I'll give you an example of a tokenizer, guys. Okay. So all of you see, this is basically where you can see how tokenization works. Okay. What is tokens? You see, OpenAI is, it is not only about OpenAI, all the LLMs, large language models, will process the text using tokens. Okay. Now tell me any sentence, guys. Let's say we are learning, we are learning about generative AI. We are learning about generative AI. Can all of you see there is some color coding done, guys, below? Can all of you see that? Guys, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, Chandra.
Yes. So below you can see some color coding here, right? What has happened? This is a text which I have provided. This text is broken down into small blocks, tiny blocks known as tokens. So here you see the color coding, guys. Total characters, total number of characters in this sentence is 36. Those 36 characters have been broken down into 8 tokens. You see here, the full stop is also a separate token, guys. So punctuation marks can also be tokens. Generative. This generative, you see, it is broken down into 2 tokens. A single word, but broken down into 2 tokens. Can all of you see that? We is one token, R and this space is another token, space and learning is another, space and about is another, space and GENER is another token, ATIVE is another token, space AI is another token, full stop is another token. Now this is the tokenizer of OpenAI or ChatGPT. It does not mean that the same tokenization process will be used by other AI models also. Understood, everyone? So whenever we are providing an instruction, okay, whenever we are providing an instruction, they break down the instruction into small blocks known as tokens. Remember, the AI models charge the companies, or basically whenever we are going to procure the AI models, they will charge the customer or whoever has bought that AI model in the form of tokens, guys. In the means with any license, whenever you procure, there will be a certain amount of tokens allocated to you. Like whenever we recharge our mobile number or any other service, right? So let's say that there is a prepaid service you pay, then as per your usage, that gets deducted, right? Similarly, here also, whenever any AI model is procured, there will be a license allocated. As part of that license, there will be certain number of tokens allocated. Now, it's not in thousands or hundreds, guys. It would be in millions. Okay, as part of that license, millions of tokens would be allocated. But if you keep on using those, millions will also be used away, right? So you need to keep in mind that whenever you are writing the instructions, whenever you are giving the instructions to the AI models, you need to keep in mind, or you need to keep in mind about the input length, whatever you are giving. Okay, the instructions, whatever you are providing, you need to think about, okay, what length should I give? You need to optimize. Similarly, cost. I told you, because based on the number of tokens you will be charged. So it is always advisable to optimize your tokens or optimize your inputs so that you will be charged less. Now, do you think, guys, now whatever we have learned today, do you think any layman who is using AI would be aware of all these things? Or people are sending or having messages or sending messages that, is it just prompting or just using any model? No, right? If you are not aware of these things, you will not be able to effectively use them, because tokenization is a process where you have to keep in mind about the maximum length of your instruction, because that indirectly will affect the cost. All of you clear? Any queries, anyone? Any queries, anyone? Okay, so with this, we'll stop the session for today. I hope you all enjoyed today's session, guys. Thank you all for joining.
Hello, I have a question. Do you have the recording for yesterday?
Yeah, the recording of yesterday's session is already shared in the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Are you part of the WhatsApp group?
Yeah. So the one for today will be on too?
I'm sorry?
The recording for today is as well.
The recording for today's will be shared tomorrow once the team is in office tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Michael. I have just shared the recording on YouTube for yesterday in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Chandra, just one question. Sorry, I haven't gone through the YouTube video as of now, like the full 15 minutes. Does it cover leveraging Gen AI tools to demonstrate something in software testing? Like
no, yesterday we haven't seen anything about software testing. Yesterday I have just shown how you can give just some instructions to generate a story or generate an email. And primarily yesterday we have covered what all topics we are going to cover as part of this training, because it is very, very necessary for everyone to know, right, what we are going to cover. Otherwise, you will not be in a position to decide whether this training is going to be helpful for you or not.
Right. So technically till now, nothing related to software testing has been talked about.
Nothing related to software testing has been covered till now. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Would be a demo session.
If you go through the course content, you will understand how this course is designed, what all topics we are going to cover. So first our focus will be on generative AI fundamentals. We need to understand, we need to know, because everyone need to be on the same page, right? Because some might be aware of Gen AI, some might not. So I need to bring everyone on the same page. Once that is there, we are going to learn about prompt engineering. Okay, that is another very, very important thing. And then once we have mastered that, we will then leverage, or we'll see how Gen AI can be leveraged in the field of software testing.
Right. So actually, I have this question that, like, I understand that is more of the paid part of it, but like if I'm, for example, I'm working for XYZ consultancy, and my clients keep on changing, they might be using their own set of technology stack for testing, right? How would this amalgamate or call it call it like synchronize with the Gen AI? Maybe like the test plan that I'll get through prompt engineering and then making use of Gen AI might not be something that they're expecting. So that's what I was just a bit thinking.
I think that is a very good question. Let's say my customer is changing, right? I'm working on different projects. For the first 1 year, I worked on one project, then in another, next year I go to another project. And to answer the question, I can still use generative AI to meet the requirement of each and every customer. That is what prompt engineering is about. We are going to see the frameworks, we are going to see the techniques, people think that prompting is just anyone's cup of tea. That's not the case. That is a skill. That is a skill.
Right.
Using that skill, you will see that you give me any scenario, I will be able to generate the required output for you. So
Sure,
I'll be able
Chandra.
to, sorry?
No, just said sure.
Yes. So that is why we need to know prompt engineering properly, how to craft the prompts so that we can get the desired response.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Any other queries, anyone? Okay. So with this, we'll stop the session for today. Thank you all for joining.